talent. My name is Alethea, and y'all, we're gonna get back into the darts tonight. So I already have a thumbs up, but I don't see a person. So thank you all for your patience. I was supposed to go live today at 2 o'clock, but I had my little ones today, and I was feeling a little bit under the weather. But I'm here. So I thank y'all for hanging out with me. All right, so I'm giving it just a few minutes before I get started and let others come in. So I'll push some stuff back here. Y'all, I have to be very honest. I have not even started to cut my dress out. I haven't. It's been one of those kind of weeks. Thought I was going to get it done the other night that I was in with you all, but that didn't happen. So, my little lipstick, lip gloss. I'm going to go ahead and start to cut this out. I didn't have any major adjustments that I needed to make because of the fact that the measurements that I took. So I kind of tell you where I am so far. I did do that. I did make the adjustment, so I just need to cut it out. And I think I've kind of decided that I'm not going to do any adjustments to the hem or anything. Thank you so much for the person that's in. Appreciate you. Um, so my mug is very telling. Like, I'm not sure. I think I got this at Joann's, but it says taking it one stitch at a time. And that's all I can do is take it one stitch at a time, y'all. So I got my mocha latte, mocha coffee, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to hold this up to me. The only adjustments that I did make was the side adjustments. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave that just like it is. I did not have to make any adjustments to the back length. And I'm hoping that's true because I cut out a 16. I left it a 16 across here. Usually I cut out an 18, but I left it at a 16 across here. So if you remember from the last video, the previous video before that, my pattern was too big. Now this one was too small. So I usually cut out an 18 here and a 22 here, and it's usually too big. So I'm going to go ahead and keep the 16 that I have. So this was too small, and I am going to add on here. So I've done all my measurements, and I'm going to bring this around so you can see what I've done to it. I did make the adjustments to the fisheye darts, like I said. I left the darts, the fisheye darts. Hang on, you might not be able to hear me. Give me just a second. I forgot I didn't have my earbuds in. So like that. That kind of makes me a little bit louder. So thank you all for coming in. Hola. Hola. How art thou? Y'all, I don't know why this happens every time. Let me see. Make sure my notifications are off, and they are. All right. Hola. How art thou? Salute to you. Sending a shout out to you. Is it Gojo? All right. So let me just turn this around a little bit so you can kind of see where I am so far. I'm going to pull this, unplug that. So the only thing that I have to do is cut the sides out. I'm going to kind of wing that, take it back into the top area, actually. So I think the only thing I want to add in is about an inch, maybe an inch and a half to the hip area. It says I should add a 2 inches, but I'm going to add an inch and a half. I don't know, I might need those 2 inches. All right, so hang on one second, show you what I'm doing. Y'all bear with me while I... Hey, Nina. How art thou? All right. And I should have did this before, but I'm gonna clean your eyes, clean your lenses off so you can see a little bit clearer. All right. All right, so bring this in just a little bit. Bring it out. All right, so last week, not last week, but I think it was Tuesday, we were live. And hi, Luigi Star. How art thou? Good evening. Good evening. All right, so last evening, we talked about how to move these darts around to transfer them into princess seams, or take the princess seams out and transfer them into darts, and try how to change your waist bust darts to waist darts, your waist darts to bust pleats, or your darts into shoulder darts. So we got all that in. I put everything back and taped everything back together so that I can go ahead and use it for myself. So you can see here that I did the math for my measurements and everything. So I discovered that I really need to add in. There's a 3-inch difference in my bust. So for every half an inch, that's two. That's a 2-inch difference for every half-inch seam allowance that you add on. And so you can see here that there's generally about a half an inch. So I always tell my customers there's about 2 inches between each size. All right, going up or down. So with that being said, I only need to add maybe about a inch and a quarter, maybe, to the side seam. But I've decided I want a kind of a close fit at the bodice area. So I'm going to add in about an inch. Now, this number that I'm adding in is inclusive of the seam allowance. Good evening. Good evening. I've already added in the seam allowance. So this was my bust measurement. This, what I have in the circle, is the pattern measurement, the back of the envelope measurement. Those are just guides to show you what your measurement size should fall into, right? So because I have a size 16 pattern that I'm working with, and it was the highest size that I have on this pattern, I'm using those numbers to jumpstart from. All right, so this was the 16 at the bust, 38. I'm a 41, and there's a 3.5-inch seam allowance between the pattern measurement and the finished measurement. So I know if I want my pattern to become true to the fit that they have created this for, then I'll have to add the 3.5 inches to my own measurements. And this is what I came out to, 44.5. So being that the finished measurement is 41.5 inches here at the bust, and mine should be 44.5, that's where I get the 3-inch difference. So I have to split this between the 4 seams, the left right front and the left right back. So if I divide this by 4, it'll be less than a half an inch that I need to add in. So I said I was going to add in about an inch, but I really only need to add maybe about a half an inch. So if I divide 3, where's my divided sign? Can't see up here. Divided by 4. So 3/4. So I really only need to add 3/4 of an inch here at the bust. And my difference, they didn't have a waist difference, but I know it falls in between the bust and the hip. So I'm just going to go with the bust and the hip measurement and grade in between. So let's go on down to the hip measurement. Okay. So the hip measurement is 47.5. That's what actually my hips are 47.5. And if I add on the 4-inch difference that this pattern is created for, then it gives me 51.5 inches. The difference between my finished measurement here and the pattern's finished measurement was 6.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to divide my 6.5 inches by 4 and see what that comes out. So really 1 5/8 inches. So I don't even need, I put here 1 inch and 2 inches, but I only need to add maybe 3/4 of an inch to 1 5/8 inch in the hip area, and I should be fine. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. When I get ready to cut this out, I'm just going to free mark that and go from there. Now, I will say this. I want my skirt to be a little bit more penciled or a little bit more tapered. So I don't want the extra 6 inches at the hem. Okay. So I'm going to kind of taper back in to this skirt, to the hem, the original hem. So it could be a little bit more tapered, a little bit more tailored. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make myself a note here. I'm going to scratch off what I added here. I said add an inch, but I'm going to add 1 5/8 inch to the seam allowance. That's for the hip. And then I'm going to add 3/4 of an inch to the bust area, seam allowance. And all that will grade in between the waist part. This is actually the waist area right here. That'll just get graded in between. And then I'm going to taper back in to here. So I'm going to make myself a note, taper back to original hem. All right, so that way I'll know what it is I want to do. All right, and I'm going to give myself the same thing, do the same thing here. Let's see. And you can see right here on the pattern piece that it's important to know that this is a 5/8 inch seam allowance that we're working with. Okay, so here at the hip, this is the hip line. I'm going to do, actually, let me make sure. I want to make sure there's no hip mark on this one, but so I want to make sure that we got the same mark on the other pattern. That way I know I'm making adjustments at the same spot. So what I did was lay the original the front piece on top of the back piece, matching the notches. Matching the notches right here. So that way I can go ahead and mark the hip placement. Okay. And so while I'm at it, let's make sure that the bust point is marked as well. I want to make sure I get all of that correct. And I'm adding on at the same places. So it's going to transfer. So see that right there? I'm just going to put bust right there. And you can see right here. I'm just going to put hip right there. So I'm going to add 1 5/8 inches to the hip part. And I'm going to add 3/4 inches to the bust. Okay. And I'm going to make that same note. Taper back to original hem. Okay. So now I've got all my notes and everything. All right. I want to make sure I'm not missing any comments. Sometimes I get lost in what I'm doing and don't look at the comments. So thank you all for coming in. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and please share this out. And for those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Alethea, and I am the creator and founder of So Much Talent. I love to showcase the many talented folks that are out and about. I do have a Facebook group for those of you that are still hanging out and rocking it out on Facebook. My Facebook group is So Much Talent, and we love to share, inspire each other, learn new tips and tricks, and we do retreats and things like that periodically. So make sure you check us out. I'm also on Instagram. Okay. All right. So I've got all of that marked. I did tell you that I wasn't planning on lengthening this, but I'm going to double check and see if I want to lengthen it. I'm going to measure myself. I'll turn this back around. Okay, I'm going to measure myself and see, just kind of loosely measure me to see if I want to do a lengthening measurement. I think for the 16 from the nape of the neck down to the length is 43 inches. So, okay. So I'm holding it at different points so that when I bend, it doesn't distort the measurement. Okay, so my length is actually saying 45, so I might need to add a couple of inches onto that just to be on the safe side. All right, I want to double check the measurements on the pattern. If you did not get a chance to see, hey Miss Ann, how art thou? Oh my goodness, it's good to see you on this side. Welcome, my Canadian friend. How art thou? All right, so on the length is a 43 on this pattern. I am tall. The average the average length for any patterns or retail or anything is about 5'5". Okay, so that's the average, the industry standard for making these patterns. Now, some patterns are petitable, meaning they can be shortened. This is certainly petitable, but it's cut for the average 5'5" height. I'm 5'7.5", so thus the 2-inch difference. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add the 2 inches on, and you're doing good. Awesome, awesome, so good to see you. All right, so I am going to add the 2 inches on, so I'm going to make a note on my pattern to add 2 inches to the hem. There is a 2 1/4 inch hem allowance, so I do like a deep hem, at least a 2-inch hem. So I'm going to add that on, because if I didn't, I probably would have to line it or do a facing, or what do you call it, hem tape or something. I'm not that fond of hem tapes, really not. I'd rather do a hem. So I'm going to add 2 inches to the hem, to the length. So add 2 inches to length. So 2 inches to length. I'm making those notes on both pattern pieces. Now, on the sleeve, I am going to add 3/4 of an inch here, because at the bust I need to add 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to taper back into the sleeve hem, the original sleeve hem. So I'm going to make a note to add 3/4 to the underarm. Add 3/4 inch seam and taper back to original hem. Okay, so those are the notes that I make myself, and when I'm feeling froggy, I wing it. But I always encourage you to go ahead and make a muslin for yourself, especially if it's going to be a special garment. If you're just practicing, by all means, if this is your muslin, hey Wanda, if this is your muslin, then go ahead and, I didn't mean to have that video in the background, because I don't want YouTube to dock me. But if this is your muslin, then go ahead and make the measurements like you have them. Go ahead and cut it out. But if you're winging it like me, maybe you might want to try it on something that you don't really deem valuable or as special, so that you can test the fit. Now I'm using like a faux velvet fabric, and y'all know how I love my velvet. This fabric was real popular in the early 90s, and I had this actually one time in a purple. Come to think of it, it was a purple fabric. I made a purple jacket out of it, like a I forget what they call those big boxy type jackets with the what you call those wide pockets. Oh my goodness, I can't think of the pocket. It's just a front pocket that you just put your hand in. And it had cuffs to it, and I made a mini skirt to match. That just came back to my memories. That was years ago. My son was, I don't know if he was even born yet. If he was probably about 2 years old. He's 20. He's about to be 26. But that's my youngest one. But anyway, this has just a tiny bit of stretch to it, not a whole lot. All right, so it has a little bit of give. So I'm gonna cut it to where the give is. And like, it's so nice to catch you live. I haven't seen you for so long. I know it, Miss Ann, Mary. You prefer I call you Mary or Ann or Mary Ann? So nowadays fabrics are like the grain of the fabric is different from the selvage edge. I don't know if y'all noticed that. Like the selvage edge is this way, and you can clearly see the selvage, but then the stretch is along the grain, and then the non-stretch part is on the cross grain, which it was always. I grew up with it being the opposite. I grew up with it like this, with the stretch on the cross grain that wraps around your body where you need the stretch, as opposed to up and down. We don't need stretch up and down because it hangs, right? And all right, got it. Duly noted. So why would we want the fabric to stretch going down? Because all it's going to do is cause your garment to hang and drop, right? So that's not what we want. So I am going to cut it. This one is done correctly. But this is a faux velvet fabric. You can see the back of it. It's man-made, obviously, and synthetic fabric. But I like it. I love myself animal print, and I love myself exposed zipper. So I plan on doing an exposed zipper in this garment. I did not get to get the exposed zipper that I want. So I might get everything done except for that exposed zipper part. But we'll see. I might just, boom, I might delight myself and find an exposed zipper around here somewhere. Who knows? All right, so let's go ahead and get this cut out. And y'all, I did say I'm a little bit under the weather, not feeling my whole best. So if I sound a little froggy, congested, just a little bit. Okay. Mind all of my stuff behind me. I had to have that fan on, y'all. Sometimes it gets hot in here. And for a little bit, I won't be able to see your comments, but it's okay. Yeah, I truly am. This is truly my workspace. And I thank God for my clients because they truly understand. Like when they come in here, y'all know how we do. If something's not quite right and put together in your home, you're like, you gotta pardon me because I know it's a mess in here and blah blah blah. My customers are always, it's okay. I know this is your workspace. It's supposed to be messy, and they are absolutely right. So I don't believe I'm gonna be able to get the long sleeve out of here. I might be able to get a short sleeve. So I'm just gonna see how much. Just gonna see how to get this. Hopefully I can get maybe the 3/4 length sleeve out of here. I don't know. We'll see. I honestly did not measure it. I just saw it and trying to figure out what fabric I want to use. And I was like, oh my God, yes, I'm gonna do that. Has a little bit of stretch. I'm gonna go with that. And one of the things that I believe I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my scissors to cut this out because I still did not get me a blade for my rotary cutter, so I'll make it easier for me. So what I'm doing here is I'm just gonna lay this out, lay my pattern pieces out to see where I am. See if I have enough to be able to get both my pieces out, the front and the bottom. I mean the front and the back, and still get my sleeve out. So the back is going to be, well actually the back is not going to fold, but the front is. So the front, this fabric is hanging off the edge a little bit, just so I can see. So I might be able to, okay, so I definitely, so I won't be able to get a I won't be able to get the long sleeve out of this either, but that's okay. I still love this fabric, um, and I'm still going to work with it. If I don't, if I shave off the extra 2 inches and bring this back to back, um, I have a little bit of sleeve up at the top. I can do at least a cap sleeve, which is fine. Even if I had to do a sleeveless, that would have been fine too. Um, so I could at least get a short sleeve out of this. So I'm fine with that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and shave off the short sleeve is going to stop about right here, like almost like a cap sleeve, just a little bit longer than a cap sleeve. This was the elbow length sleeve, and this of course was the wrist length sleeve. So I'm going to stop about right here because that's what I have enough fabric for, and I'm going to go with that, and it's going to be fine. All right, the rest of this I can use as a facing or something. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this back up on the table. I have to suck it up and not have that extra 2-inch hem. Some things have to give, right? But to have a sleeve, I'd rather live without the extra for the hem. And it does have a kick pleat or kick split in it, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to leave it. I like the idea of a kick split in the back. Now, yeah, I'm glad I am. I forgot I have to add seam allowance to this, so that little extra on the side is what I need to add the seam allowance to. So I almost forgot. I almost made a mistake there. So I have to remember what I'm doing. So the only thing that will not get added into this is the hem. So I hope you guys are doing something tonight, sewing, sitting at your sewing machine, or cutting something out, or preparing something to sew. I was supposed to come in at 2 o'clock today, but I thank y'all for your patience and hanging with me. Need to bring this up just a little bit. So it's coming off the edge down there just a little bit too much. Okay. So I need that down at the bottom. All right. So what I'm going to do, I told you I need 3/4 of an inch here, and I need a 1/2 inch here. Okay. So let me get my little ruler so I can add that in before I cut it out. I'm going to use my little chalk mark to do it. Got my coffee in hand. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add the 1 5/8 at the hip area. So hopefully you can see that mark there. It's right there. And I'm going to add 3/4 of an inch. Three-quarters of an inch here. And I'm going to add 3/4 of an inch right here. I actually do this way. That would have distorted that. So what I need to do from here to here is blend that in. I'm going to use a curve ruler to do that. Now I'm going to go back into the hem here. All right, so there is a 2.5 inch, 2.25 inch actually, 2.25 inch hem. So I'm probably not going to end up doing 1/4 inch, maybe an inch, and maybe still have to do, I'm just going to do it all the way down, I think. So what did I do with my curve ruler? Okay. So I'm just going to take this curve ruler here, and I'm just going to, I have a bigger one. Let's see if I can grab my bigger one. Okay, this is the one that I need. Get the big boy out. All right, so this will help me curve. I need to curve it out here. But then I also need to bring it in here. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn it up because most of the hip part, the rounded part is here. So right in here is where I'm just going to true it up and make that blend in right there. Okay, but I still need to bring it back down here. So since most of the hip part, the fullest part is up here, I'm going to use the fullest part of the ruler here. I'm going to bring this at least about 1 inch out, because I want to start straightening this back up. And I'm just going to angle this out a little bit. The reason I angled this out a little bit because it's peg-legged almost. And when I get ready to hem it, if I leave it like this, when I get ready to fold that inch up, let's see, fold that inch up. So it's actually a little bit more like this. So if I don't turn that out like that, when I get ready to fold this up, it's not going to, the hem is not going to lay flat and it's not going to meet. So I need to be able to turn that up a little bit in order to make sure that the hem lays flat. Okay. So that's how I make that work. Okay. All right. Now sometimes because, hey Miss Addie, hey Carol, how art thou? Hello, hola. So what I tend to do sometimes, I'm gonna turn this around so I can show you what I'm talking about. Like sometimes in my hip area, right in here, I don't know if anybody else is like this, like I'm full here, but then on the side I kind of sink in a little bit, like it dips in. So when I round it out, sometimes I have to go in and take it out, because then there's, I like to call them little ears. Sometimes there's little ears there, especially, now I'm not the one with the flat stomach, let me just say this. For those of you that tend to have a flat stomach and you have hips, sometimes it tends to pull right here. So you can take care of that by either by easing this out or shortening it here, or you can take it out, take more out, like grab those little ears and pull it and bring that in a little bit. I'm just cutting out a t-shirt, nothing too complicated. Do you have a favorite t-shirt pattern? You know what, I normally like to just create mine from an existing t-shirt. Yeah, I like to grab my favorite t-shirt, which is usually fitted, cap sleeve, and it's a little rounded, like a, not a crew neck, but a little bit more U-neck, if that makes sense, a little bit lower at the neck. I like those kind of t-shirts, and they usually come about right here. So that's my favorite tee, but I usually like to just copy and make my own. All right, so you can see what my adjustments look like. Now, most of my hip area, I probably need to bring this back in a little bit more because my hip is right here. And I really don't need all of this here. I needed it more in the hip area. So I probably can bring this in a little bit. Um, so I may just, this is where the hip is right here. Where's my little mark? This is where the hip is right here. So I don't need that as much. Now below the hip, that's right at the fullest part of the hip. Below the hip for me, probably maybe about 2 or 3 inches below the fullest part of my hip. Let's just test it and see. You can't see me doing this on camera. So actually it's about 4 inches below. So right here is where I can start shaving off some of that extra. So I'm just going to go back here. And this same adjustment that I make here, I'm going to lay my pattern piece up against the other side and cut it the same. Okay. All right. I don't know if you can see that. And this, I make these adjustments because I know my body and I know what it's going to do. I just need that for the hip, for the butt more so than anything. And I need this part right here for the gut, right? So, and I will probably be doing some kind of shapewear. So I just shaved off probably about 3/8 of an inch right here. And I probably may be able to go in and take in a little bit more. But because I pegged it right here, I think it'll be fine. All right. Miss Carol, I love you. But you could have kept this 18-degree weather up there. You could have kept it. All right, so let's see, 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to show you what that equates to because it might seem like a small amount, but a little bit goes a long way. So 3.75 times 4 equals 1.5 inches. So that's a whole lot of ease. That's quite a bit. That's almost another size dress that I added. I took out of that, out of the leg. And so I thought you needed a bit of snow and cold on it. Listen, the snow might be fine, but that cold, brutal weather, I felt like I was beat up. I was taken advantage of. I ain't need it. Like one of my cousins say when she was little, I ain't used to this stuff. You were 37 degrees Celsius yesterday. Ooh. I don't know. What does that equate to Fahrenheit? I'm not good at that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece out because I'm good with this. All right. And then I'm just going to transfer that. I'll show you how I'm going to transfer this to the pad, or actually to, oh shoot, I'm about to mess up. I'm glad I didn't cut up what I actually needed. Still going to use a 5/8 inch seam allowance. So by adding this inch on, well actually 3/4 of an inch, I added 2 sizes really, which is what I need. So I added it about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches here, like about 1 inch here, which is 2 sizes here, a little bit more than 2 sizes here, and then what I said, 3/4 here, a little bit more than a size here at the underarm. We were just talking about you the other night, Carol. One of the ladies was mentioning that she's something that I was sharing. You taught the same in one of your classes, dart manipulation. So I was just saying how you are an awesome, excellent teacher. That's what you train for. You look, you better be good at it. That's what you train for, right? All right. All right. I'm just curious. How many of you are scissor people? How many of you do scissors? How many of you do rotary cutters? Or do you rotate between both like I do? I was never, it's 34 degrees. Ooh, jeez. Yeah, and you can keep that over there too. You do both? Yeah. I always said I'm an old school kind of girl. I just like my scissors, blah blah blah. Then I started using. I was like, ooh, I kind of get used to this. But they gotta stay sharpened. I need me a heavy duty one. I need me a heavy duty rotary cutter. That's what I need. Now one thing about this velvet, it does move, so you have to be careful with that. So I'm gonna flip this over later, and then I'm gonna make my measurements on the opposite side for the darts and everything. So but I will go ahead and put a pin right where the dart is, and I'm going to use the 16. I need to flip this over so I can see which one is the 16. Well, I gotta go so high up. Okay, so the shortest one is the 16. Okay, so that's right here. Y'all, when the last time y'all heard from Jeff Key? He's on my mind. When the last time y'all heard from him? You use both? You use both too? How to use scissors. I wish I could use my rotary. You like to use scissors? Yeah. Yeah, I swore up and down I wasn't doing the rotary cutter thing. Like, no, y'all forget that. I had to get the hang of the fabric moving and stuff. That was the thing for me. All right, so don't forget to make sure you mark your notches and everything. That's important. Your notches and your placement marks. That's important too, because we're still gonna do a set-in sleeve. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and clip where my dart legs are. Okay. All right, and then I'll get the fisheye dart on the other side, on the flip side. Okay. I'm gonna put that aside. I was supposed to have all this cut out, but you see I didn't. So, all right. Carol, you sewing, or you gonna wait till like 3 o'clock in the morning? You still sewing like 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning on TikTok? Carol be up in the morning. Sometimes I catch it because sometimes I'm up too with my clients doing some work there. Y'all, as you get older, you be like, I need to carry my butt to bed. Yeah. You say, nope, you got a job. I know that's right. Listen, I know that's right. But sometimes I still be hanging up. But I gave myself a break, pretty decent break. I still took in clients at the end of the year, but I did give myself a break, and so I'm just starting to bring my customers back in and starting to call, starting to set book appointments. So, but I'm being wiser, and I am monitoring my appointments, controlling, how many appointments I take in, and how many appointments that my website will book. So I'm monitoring that, being a little bit better, because as long as your accounts are open, as long as your booking is open, then people are gonna book. And it's no fault to them, because people they need what they need and want what they want, but it's up to me if I want to make myself available. I control my workload, gotta make sure. With this velvet, I'm putting a lot of the weights down, because like I said, this velvet, it shifts a lot even when you're cutting it, so I need for it to be stable. I don't need for it to move. And just a reminder, I can't see your comments, so when I come back, I'll comment. Alright. You need to bring this up just a little bit. Okay. Alright, y'all. So I had to sacrifice my extra 2-inch hem so I can at least get some kind of sleeve out of here, but that's okay. That's alright. Now, I did tell y'all that I was going to use that other piece to overlap, so I'll know where I need to be, but unfortunately I didn't do that. Reason being is that I didn't make the adjustments, these to be existing adjustments on my pattern piece, meaning I didn't add the extra paper to go ahead and make the adjustments, so I'm kind of winging it. So I'm going to do the same thing here, but I did mark where my hip line was. I did mark where my bust line was, so I'll know where I need to do the same things. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do 1 5/8 at the hip. Okay, that's my hip line, and I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch at the bust line. All right, get my big boy ruler out, the big curve, design curve ruler, so I can make sure. Now remember, I kept the biggest part at my hip area. I did this first. I want to do this first. I want to at least give myself maybe about 1 inch at the waist. Okay, and then I'm going to curve this out to make that meet. Then I'm going to true that up right in there. Okay. Gotta get that hip in there. Now I do have a little belly, so it's okay that it's kind of protruding right there a little bit. I'm gonna need that. I need that little protrusion. I could always take that out later. All right, so I do want to tape this back in, but remember, I should have measured how much I marked out here at the hem. So that was probably about 3/4 of an inch that I left hanging at the hem. So let's do that. Okay. So I said about 4 inches below the hem where it starts tapering back up under the butt. So about right here. So about right there starts tapering back. So I'm gonna just gonna do that. So bring that back in. Okay. Might not have been as much. that from memory, y'all. But always do your measurements. So you see how that looks? It looks pegged, but I do need this to come out because again, when I get ready to do the hem, when I turn it up, it needs to be able to match here. That might have been a little bit more. So I need to come out here a little bit more. I could always taper it back in. I'd rather err on the side of too much than not enough. Okay. All right. So that's my shape on pattern, y'all. um, you haven't sewn in almost a month. Oh my goodness. You going through withdrawals? Listen, I feel you on that one, and that's for real. Like we sew for other people, or we get busy and preoccupied. You start longing to sew something. So that's what I've been doing. You want to sew tonight, but I gotta get out of this house. I may go to JoJo's. How's JoJo's in your area? I think ours is still holding on. It's yet holding on. Um, y'all know my theory on that, based on my own personal experience. But you know, a lot of people have already counted them out, closed the doors for them, and everything. I have a love-hate relationship with them, but I'm not ready to see their doors closed, honestly. I think if they get new buyers, like we seen with the new buyers that we got, if they get new buyers for the store, then they get new buyers, merchandising buyers and stuff like that, they can kind of turn it around. They can do a little bit better, but I think by them downsizing, it's going to be really good for them. Let me tell you, Gordon Brothers, they ain't no joke. They know their business. Now starts a trip to the end of random sewing junk buying. Oh my goodness. No, be intentional about your sewing, Carol. Be intentional. You just got rid of a whole bunch of stuff. What you going to JoJo's for? Notions and stuff? I haven't had time to sew. This job has me on lockdown. Joanne so far has been holding on, but I'm waiting for the signs. Everything must go. Listen, we didn't see, it didn't get that far for us that everything must go. It did get down to, y'all, I got about 1/8 of an inch off of this hem. And this is the back piece. It's the back that really needs to be the longest. So I might be rocking a mini. I might be rocking a mini, y'all. I'm sorry, I should have pulled this up like I thought. But again, this stuff shifts, so all right, so here, let me get this off the side. Yeah, we saw the 80%, 70, the 60%, the 70%, everything. We did see the big plastered on the stores, and it was kind of embarrassing in a way, because we didn't know what was going on. But everything, we did see the signs, Carol. I take that back, because it was plastered on the window. Store, everything must go. Everything, 80% off. That's what it said. Didn't say everything must go, but everything 80%, 90%. So people came in and they racked up, which that's what we do when we see a good sale, right? Especially gowns and things, like you can get wedding gowns and stuff, a little or nothing. Everything was marked down. So, but they did that to liquidate. They did that so that they can make money and know where their standing is, and know what to do. So in this process of them waiting in the courts, they're waiting in the courts, one, because they're trying to find a better buyer. You know, like Gordon Brothers goes in and swoop up everything. They're the same ones that bought Best Buy out. They're the same ones that liquidated our stuff. And when I tell you they don't play, they about their business. But they there to make money, and if they don't see anything that's going to be lucrative for them, they won't even touch it. But when I tell you they want their money, you know that hang on. Let me turn this around. You know that YouTube, that TikTok that's going around talking about Show me my money. Or where's my money, whatever it is. That's how the Gordon brothers are. They just want to see dollars. They want to make it make sense. And so, and you can't blame them. You know, they sticking their neck out there. And they trying to make some stuff happen. So they saying, show me my money. Give me my money. Exactly. That's them. They said, give me my money. But they're ready to buy, y'all. They are ready. And so it's hung up in the courts because um, Joann's could be being a little bit greedy. They can't afford to not sell, right? But they're trying to find a better offer. That's what they're doing. But if they don't find a better offer, I'm probably about 85% sure that they're not going to close. I could be wrong. They might just fold and say, hey, forget it. It ain't worth it. And no, we're not selling. We just rather liquidate. But it normally is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to call it at this point, but it's hard to believe that what they have, we only had like 400 some odd stores. Joann's has over 850 stores, or have about 850 stores. Only 8 of them closed. So that might be enough to liquidate. Why hasn't it been more than 8? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's I'm hopeful. Now y'all know how I feel about Janky Joe's, because I told you we had that love-hate relationship. But y'all know how I feel. But I'm hopeful that they ain't going nowhere. Think about this too. They are the only ones that really have a physical presence where we can go in and feel fabric. And we talk smack about their fabrics, and we talk smack about, the kind of fabrics, and they don't have this, they don't have that. But truth be told, they're the first ones we run to when we need a zipper real quick. Hey, Lala. They're the first ones we run to when we need a quick zipper, we need interfacing. Because we ain't going to Hobby Lobby real quick like that. For one, they close at 8 o'clock. They don't open on Sundays, and they don't have the kind of fabric that we need, right? Even though, JoJo's a little suspect sometimes. But truth be told, we all have a love-hate relationship with them, right? So we don't want to see them go. All right, so I'm getting ready to, I'm getting ready to mark my fisheye darts, so I can go ahead and get the work. Actually, let me go ahead and do the sleeve first, and then I'll do the darts, so that I can go ahead and start sewing. I still have my thread set up, my black on and stuff like, so that's not going to be a problem. I'm going to go ahead and cut the short sleeve off so I can see it. I was really hoping for a longer sleeve, but this is okay. So I wear this, I can wear it with a jacket or something. Which I need me another black jacket. Yeah, like I need a hole in my head. Okay. TikTok. I mean, not. Oh Lord Jesus, not TikTok. YouTube gonna shut me down if I start dancing. They think I'm performing for y'all. All right, Carol. So JoJo's apparel fabric is better than Hobby Lobby. Exactly. That's why I'm saying. We really want them to go? Like I said, we talk smack about them, but unless you're a quilter or something like that, JoJo's can't. I mean, Hobby Lobby can't cut it for us. Now, and then their notions are not the top quality notions. Then they don't carry all the pattern companies that we need. It would be a travesty. And why wouldn't somebody want to capitalize on that? Yeah, it's good that we have online resource, but everybody is not going online. We still need that. And truth be told, unless somebody like Michaels is going to buy them out again and take all of their fabrics, they better do something. If that happens, Michaels or Hobby Lobby better take and buy that fabric or be available to us, to the public, for what we need. So let me not forget to add a 1/4 inch seam allowance to the sleeve, to the arms, because it's got to fit in the arm size, got to fit properly. So make sure I make that same adjustment to the arm size I did. Thank you, Lala. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, see, now you're gonna be an enabler. Why you come on the live, Carol, and tell us about the $4.99 patterns on sale, huh? You know we ain't buying patterns this month. Why you gonna do that? Why? Why, Carol? Am I gonna have to kick you out? Am I gonna have to kick you off the live? Kick you out? You're not helping. Now I did. How many of you caught my live when I said, being that some of your stores are closing, and it's a fact that the stores in your area are closing. I said for you to go ahead and take advantage, break fast, and buy what you can buy, because this time it don't come around as often, this opportunity. So why wouldn't you? So I don't want nobody to feel guilty. Now I know y'all know I didn't have to tell y'all to go break fast. Y'all gonna do it anyway. But I just don't want y'all to feel guilty. I didn't want y'all to be up here like, yeah, I'm still fasting. I ain't do nothing. Yeah, I know y'all. The minute the sale come up, some of y'all already did it, because I had some of y'all inbox me before the Joanne thing happened and said, well, somebody was on your site, Carol, and somebody messaged me. This was the night before the fast was started. They thought they had already messed up and said, I just want to let you know I'm out, because I don't already bought fabric. I bought from Carol's. He was selling fabric one night, and she bought some fabric, and she said, I just want to let you know I'm already out. I'm already. I said, poor thing. No, you're not out. We just started. So, y'all, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? You was giving it away. Okay. Well, she got some of it, and she was feeling a little guilty about it. She gave it away. Yeah. See, so she was feeling a little guilty about it, but hey, that was the night before we started, so she was good. So I had to text her. I laughed. I said, "No, you good? We just getting started." So our rule was they can't buy fabric, or they can't swap fabric, or nobody could give them fabric. They can't receive fabric. So I think that's what it was. But as long as you started before, it's all good. But y'all know y'all gonna do it anyway. Somebody gonna have some delicious fabric and some awesome patterns, and y'all gonna feel like I gotta get it now. And y'all gonna go for it. That's between y'all and the fabric gods. That's between you all and the fabric gods. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But this whole thing is more so about learning techniques, as opposed to learning, as opposed to eliminating fabric. Yes, we want to sew from our stash, as much as possible. But it's about perfecting these techniques. Like this particular one, it just dawned on me that I'll be covering everything that we talked about this month. The zippers, the set-in sleeves, the darts. The only thing that this one will not cover is the notch collar. So next week, if y'all hang in there, we're doing notch collars. So that can be a notch collar on a blouse, it can be a jacket, it can be a coat, whatever your fancy. Make sure that you send me your pictures by hashtagging them wherever you are. I've been trying to be good. I kind of fell behind going on the Facebook group and on Instagram, catching your projects. As long as you hashtag me, SMT 2025 Stashbusting Fast, or So Much Talent, hashtag so much talent, I'll be able to find you. You hanging in there with me, I appreciate you. Thank you. You just had to pay for shipping. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I get to laugh and I get tickled because it's always so funny in January. I always know what to expect. And it's always going to be something. And that's just like with a regular fast. You know, you're supposed to be fasting meat or fasting whatever you fasting TV. You get so tempted. It's a good show that's coming on right in the middle of your fast. And you're like, man, oh man. But you know what? Thank God for record buttons, right? Or you got an opportunity just when you fasting. You at work and somebody bringing a big box of hot and warm Krispy Kreme donuts. And you're like, man. But you can't eat it. Miss Carol, I'm Brooklyn. Are you, is it Brooklyn, Timmy? Is it Brooklyn or is it Brooklyn, Timmy? All right, so if you just came in, this is the pattern that I'm working from. It's an oldie but goodie. We all could use a good sheath dress. This was McCall's 2401. It's labeled easy, an easy pattern. You can see it only has 3. Well, I only cut 3 pieces. I probably will keep this to make a facing out of, but I usually sometimes like to make my own facing. And that's a whole nother story to deal with. It's Brooklyn. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Brooklyn Bridge, Timmy. Okay. See, you had to go there. You had to go there, Miss Carol. Nina says, I did my darts. Did you? I did, Nina. I did. And thank you so much. I thought I replied on Instagram. And I may not have, because I have a habit of doing that. I'll see stuff and look at it. And in my head, I commented. And I go back and I haven't. So thank you, Nina. Nina been rocking with this fast. Y'all can't say nobody. If ain't nobody else been rocking with this fast, it's been Nina. She's been hanging in there sewing up the stuff. Now, I don't know if she bought it. Let me just say, she's been rocking with the challenges. So I don't know what her fast life been like. You bought some fabric, Nina? I ain't gonna tell nobody. What goes on right here in the So Much Talent Live on YouTube stays right here. I'm So Much Talent Live on YouTube. All right? You trying to confuse who in the hell is Lala anyway? Look, her name say Lala Bell. I ain't make it up. Lala, who is Lala, Timmy? I didn't make it up. You see Lala right there. Don't act like I just said it. Don't act like I just made up a name for this lady. Carol. She say, wait a minute. Wait, now you got Lala to my, what? Do anybody else see Lala Bell but me? You say, I know Brooklyn, not Lala. That's what she said. She said, I'm Brooklyn Timmy, Miss Carol. You see her? Thank you, Wanda. Cause see, Carol would have me acting like I'm crazy. I know what I saw. I may be under the weather a little bit, but my mind still whole. My mind still whole. Yes, I have different names on different platforms. See, Carol, get off. Get off. You confusing folks. Trying to mess with my head. She's somebody new on all platforms. See, I don't know. You follow me on Instagram. I think I recognize the Brooklyn Timmy. I believe. I think I recognize the Brooklyn Timmy. See, the one time that I should have had this where people can come on live, I didn't. So fast trying to hurry up and get it done. I would have had you on here, Carol. See, you playing now. Hang on. See, you playing now. I'd have had you on so I can look you right in the eye. I am the same person Miss Carol just likes to start messing with. Well, you see you ain't the only one, right? You see you ain't the only one. Miss Carol be trying to start messing with everybody. How you think she got the name Fabric Whisper? Do y'all remember that? Because she started snatching folks' fabric. But I like that. Just send that to me. So I told y'all don't look in her eyes. See, now she don't had to give it all back. she accumulated too much of it. She don't have to give it all back. And I bet some of y'all that got her giveaway fabric, I bet it's some of your own fabric. I bet some of y'all got your same fabric back. She sold up mine though. Carol, you remember that? Carol, you remember the yellow fabric that you got? It was almost like a quilted fabric that I got from Wally Mart. It was nice. I made a shawl collar jacket out of mine. And yeah, this about a 1/4 inch short in the back, but it's okay. I'm gonna make that. We'll see. I might not need to lengthen it. We'll see. I might need to show a little knees anyway. I might need to show a little knees anyway. Let me go ahead and mark this so I can be done with this. I'm gonna mark my notches. I mean, mark my darts. You still got that bag? It's one of my favorite. Is it? I'm on stream. I'm just on YouTube, and I usually plug it. Yeah, I don't see the button on here. Usually I fix it where I can have a guest on here if somebody's interested. But usually nobody's interested in coming on, so I just stopped doing it. But that's because I ain't seen you in a while, Miss Carol, since you don't start back working. All right, so I'm marking my notches and everything. I mean my darts. You still got, okay. All right, let me get one of my pens so I can mark this. This one of my erasable pens, heat erasable pens. It makes it so easy to mark. You can just pierce a hole where the markings are. And then I'll use my ruler to meet up where the lines are. Okay. And then I'm gonna make a line, a few lines down the center. Because remember the method that Gentleman Jim gave. Carol, were you? I don't think you were at the 2018 retreat. You were at the 2019 retreat, but I'm sure you've seen Gentleman Jim do it, and I'm sure you probably do it yourself. Is that you mark 1/2 of the dart, you mark the center and 1/2 of the dart, so that you'll know that you got it right and correct when you get ready to apply the dart. You said Miss Carol Shamir and I got rid of TT. Oh, did y'all really? Oh, yeah. 2019 was a lot of fun. Speaking of, I see in June you coming back with the 2nd annual Chicago Frontales. I'm working on that. Let's see. How was brunch with your crew? Hey, Lysandra. Listen, brunch was good. Look, them little jokers had me to make brunch, and then one of them half ate. And then asked for extra. I said, no, man. You had me get up here and make this stuff, and you gonna eat it with me. She's talking about my grandbaby show. We had brunch. I'm like, no, I didn't sit here and make this for nothing. I ordered food and groceries and everything just so I can fix them some brunch. And then I fixed it. She helped me cook it and everything. We had pancakes, bacon, and eggs. And get my little. Yeah, we had pancakes, bacon, and eggs, and she decided she didn't want to eat it all because she wanted to go play. I was like, no, ma'am. Especially this day and time. Look, we need to reserve food. We don't know. I need all the leftovers. I need to put it in a jar, and I need to freeze dry this for leftovers. We don't know what's coming down the pike. You in withdrawal, not seeing Miss Carol at 2 a.m. I know, right? Maybe because a lot of y'all coming over making more use of um tick making more use of YouTube, and then some of you all are going over to this new platform, y'all. I can't rock with y'all over there. I'm like, Lord, I'm just all the platforms I have now. I just can't keep up. So I can't rock with y'all over there at what is it? What's the new Twitch? My eyes start twitching when I think about it. It's like, no, I can't do that. Y'all have to do that one all by yourself without me. Now sometimes I can click on, but I'm not going to join it, but I can still see and watch. I don't know if the person can see me watching or see me live. I tried to comment on a couple of videos that were out, like D. Um, I tried to comment on one that D was doing, but I couldn't see her. I mean, I don't think she could see me. And then Carmen was on one. Carmen was doing one with somebody. This was doing the train or whatever. They're trying to get the numbers up. And so I was trying to comment, but I don't think they could see. Twitch and favorite. See, what is favorite it? I miss going on it too. My followers are lost because I'm in bed. see, you're gonna have to find a way to do your 2 a.m. wake up call. Put that clock back up there. It is now 2:30 a.m. in the morning, Chicagoland time, or however you used to say it. We actually did a live one night. She called me up. Or I called her, however it went. Alright, so let's see. Once I get this done, it's not going to take me that long. So, I don't know if you can see it. I went ahead and did the other side, but generally you don't have to do the one side. So I'm going to focus on the one side and fold it and stitch along the one. We're going to see how that comes out. I think you would like to. You think so? I don't know. When Carmen started talking about the kids over there and stuff, and I don't know. I haven't tried it. I think, not that I'm opposed to it, but I just have so much, and I think it's just another, I think it would be another distraction for me. Yeah. I feel like if y'all can't find me in one, y'all can't find me on Instagram, or we on YouTube or Facebook, I think y'all just don't need to see me. Miss Carol, sit down first. You like favorite it better? Okay. You may go live on Twitch. All right. Well, make sure you post it on Instagram, because that's where I see y'all go live. Well, I see Carmen's all the time, you know, when she's going live. And then I see D Patterns by D. I see her announcements going live on Twitter. I don't see anybody else's. And maybe it's the algorithm or something. I don't know. But I can see Carmen all the time. The only thing, I can't share Carmen's stuff. And I can't share anybody's stuff. I try to share it out, you know, but I can't share the post. So I don't know how that works. I see other people sharing it. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm still trying to learn all this social media stuff. Carol said, I'm gonna start YouTube and IG again. You should, Carol. IG, you used to do IG a little bit more. You can just go live only if you like. Okay. Terrence and Monica go live on that platform. Do they? Now, see, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen Terrence a lot. So I was just wondering where he's been. I see, and I haven't seen, I saw Monica announce her going live one day, but I didn't get to see hers. That was the night of the gala. One of the galas or one of the award shows, something was going on. And I saw her doing like an after show to talk about it. I didn't see it, but I saw her announcement of it. So yeah, but I can see y'all. Yeah, I don't get to see. I can see Monica's. Well, I saw that one time, so I don't know how often she goes live, but I don't see her announcements all the time. I never see Terrence's announcements. Um, I really haven't seen a lot of him. I saw maybe once or twice after all this stuff happened with him, and he looked really good. But I didn't see. I haven't seen him since. All right, y'all. So I got my back notches done. I mean, I got my back pleats in the back done. Let me get my kick pleat done. Um, yeah, that whole back piece. I don't know how they got short like that. Because this fabric is a pile. And if you don't anchor it good, the pile, when you're cutting it, it moves, it shifts. So you have to be really careful with a fabric that has a pile. And a pile is only a fabric that has, it's not quite 3D, but it has fur. It has a one-way design. But in this case, it has fur to it. It has fuzz. So when it's like that, it's hard to keep it in place. You have to take measures to make sure it doesn't shift. Like my back shifted like a quarter of an inch, 3/8 of an inch almost. Like every time I'm moving, it keeps growing. Oh, hey Elisa, how art thou? Good evening. You can see the playbacks like you see them here. Oh, really? Hmm. Yeah, see, y'all, look, Brooklyn. Timmy. How you want me to call you, Brooklyn or Timmy? Or Lala? Which one you want me to call you? You gonna make me go over there and start a Twitch. I don't need no other account, y'all. I don't. You gonna make me get curious and want to go over there, especially if I can see the replays. That was the only thing that I didn't like about TT, is that you couldn't go back and catch the replays. All right. All right, so let's see how I'm gonna do this, because I need to be strategic about this one. This is the front. I'm doing the fisheye darts in the front now, and then the bust darts. I have to mark those. So because I added it on, I can't just. I can turn this over to the side, to the back. You answered all? Okay. Kara, Anna J are on this platform as well. Oh, I know Miss Carol's on here. She just don't go live that much on here. And Anna, so are you talking about Anna with the rotary cutting mats? Are you talking about that, Anna? Let's see. So I follow Carmen Black Sun Network. I follow most folks on here. I love watching C. I see Unsocial. Shamir's just starting to pick up on her channel. D Patterns by D. Yes, did I say Carmen? Carmen. LaShawn. I'll catch LaShawn. As a matter of fact, LaShawn might be on tonight. She usually comes on Fridays at 7. Excuse me. I try not to overlap, but y'all can help it tonight. I had my grandbabies earlier, and y'all, if y'all in these streets and y'all know who my mama is, y'all say happy birthday to my mom. She is 82 years old today, this evening. 82 years young. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I don't know if y'all can see. Big Mac Anna's from San Diego. Yeah, I think LaShawn is on now. I think she usually comes on Saturdays, Fridays. Today is Friday, right? She usually comes on Fridays about 7 o'clock. Unless she doesn't have anything scheduled, she's usually on about this time. Y'all remember I had to shift my dart down because, and Carol, I don't know if you're still on here, Carol. What is your thought? Like, Erica, you was on here last time, and so I've always been taught old school when it comes to dart placements and stuff like that. That you don't place the dart right at the nipple point. Like you stop about 2 inches out or 2 inches under so it can create the shaping. But nowadays these patterns are right at the nipple. Like it just make a little knot right there. So let me know your thoughts on that if you're still on here. Yo, can y'all hear my music? I try not to make it so dull. I'm almost ready to. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Nina. I don't know if she's watching, but yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Wanda. Thank you, Nina. I said Nina. Thank you, Lala. Carol, some corner. I learned it should be at least 1 inch away. It looks better and doesn't cause torpedo boot. Exactly. Exactly. So I made my bust dart about 1 inch away from here, and then here I made it about 2 inches. Well, actually, I made this about 1 inch under here, and this one is about 1 inch away because they had this one right here up to here. I'm like, no, nah, bro. You gonna have me looking like I got little my stuff is at attention. Nope. So, all right. So this is where I am going to do the one leg of the dart, and because I forgot to do it on the fisheye darts, but this is the side dart. Okay, up. I did it again. I was supposed to be doing the middle, and I did the other. Lord Jesus, it don't matter. That's just an easy way to get the dart in and know you got it right. I always do the legs and then the one of the legs in the center. You don't have to worry about trying to match up with the other side, because if you can mark that in the center, then you know you got it right. All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mark this center line down this fisheye dart. So Eric was telling me that a lot of people have issues with the fisheye dart, and I'm not understanding why. I don't know if it's just to how to get it in there, sew it in there. But if you do this trick, just sew the one side, then you won't have any problems with it. Marking everything is key. But if you try to wing it, if you just make the dots and don't connect the lines, and you're trying to sew like that, then yes, you can mess up, and it won't come out right. I'm working on pattern 2401, and I'm doing actually end up doing view D. Doing view D because I have to do the short sleeve, and I actually made my neckline a U-shaped neckline because I like mine a little bit U. So mine comes in, should come in just a little bit more, not a whole lot, just a tad bit more up to the neck, and then drops a little bit in a U shape. The only reason I'm doing this short sleeve is because I didn't have enough. Like I thought, I just got happy about the animal print fabric. But this is McCall's 2401. You say that's the height, or old school bra pointed. No, see, Lysandra, we not doing the old school pointed boob thing. At least I don't need to be doing that. Maybe somebody who don't have no boobs and needs some need some extra in that area, it might work out just fine for them. But Lord knows, I don't need the pointed boob action. I don't. I done picked up weight, and that's one of the things that grow. And I don't need it to look like they grew more than what they already. Woo. One of the worst things you could do is have boobs that sit up too high or mashed. They need to sit just right and comfortably. Now, some people just have torpedo boobs. That's just it. But they don't need to point out, just round them out. But some people just have boobs, no waist. Some don't have no hips, or you got boobs, no hip, no waist, and hips, just curvaceous. You, there's nothing you can do about that, but you just have to make it work for you. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just talking about for if you don't have it, don't need to try unless you want to make it now. Unless you want to look like that, that's how you go about it. But I ain't trying to do that, y'all. I'm getting up there in age. Now, I ain't trying to say just because I'm up in age, all my stuff got to sag, because I ain't trying that either. I'm not trying to do that either. I want to be just as perky as long as they can be with the help of whatever I need. But to go overcompensate, nah. I don't want to overcompensate. I want to look natural. I don't want nobody to be talking about, now she know good and well she ain't no young girl no more, and she need to go sit down somewhere. She need to sit down. I'm gonna go sit down too. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. I know you like a sheath dress. Now I'm gonna try to remember this one. I'm gonna try to remember this one leg and the middle. See if I can remember the one leg in the middle. Y'all should have ordered me some lemons when I ordered this stuff. All right, let me do the one. This is a fisheye dart. I'm gonna do the leg, the center mark. All right, let me do the one side. And once I do this, y'all, I'll get to my sewing machine. I might need to put my walking foot on my velvet foot, the one with the little wheel, plastic wheel on it, so that I can get through this fabric. The wrong kind of foot will cause problems with your thread, cause issues and stuff like that. You not even know what's happening. Alright, so I got that. Everything is in place. I got everything marked. So now I'm ready to sew. You laughing at me, Carol? Yeah, I apologize how I look today, because I really don't feel my best today, but it's all good. Okay, you said I gotta go. I'm logging off work, probably on IG. It won't be until later, after 10. Okay, I'll try to look out for you. Thanks for hopping in. All right, y'all, so let's get to it. I can get to sewing now. That's the back piece. There's no darts or anything on the sleeve, so I don't need to mark those. So let's go ahead. Oh, I do. Did I mark? I think I marked my zipper spot. I did want to do one thing, because I do want to do. The one thing I meant to do was to give myself an inch. Give myself an inch on the exposed zipper. But since I didn't do that, I might do it the cheap way. And I'm going to go ahead and interface along the zipper line, because this fabric is a little stretchy. And so when I put my zipper in, I don't want this fabric to warp and stretch out of shape. So I'm going to go ahead and add a strip of interfacing along the back. And it only needs to be maybe it's 5/8 inch seam allowance. So if I double it, then once it's folded, or maybe I'll just do an inch because I just need to make sure. An inch and a quarter. I'll go ahead and do an inch. Hang on. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna use a fusible knit, a Profuse, and just cut a strip of fusible interfaces. Let me go ahead and cut my iron on. Sorry to sneeze, y'all. It only needs to be the length of the zipper. So I'm using the cut edge to measure. And I'm just going to measure, let's see. Okay. I'm just going to do about an inch because it's a 5/8 inch seam. So, sorry, y'all. Sneeze. What I do with my chalk. Okay. All right. So I might do a little bit more than an inch. A little bit past the inch. Rotary cutter. Just slide this down just a little bit. Okay. Tell people in Sean's live. All right. Y'all give me just a second. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. All right, so let me get these fused on. Let me take all my stuff over to the machine. Y'all be looking back on my videos and see where I disappear and then come back in. I have to learn how to edit. All right, so I just got my sleeve, and let me get these, and I'm gonna fuse those in when I go over to the sewing machine. All right, I'm gonna swing y'all around for a little bit. I got you on a long arm tripod. All right, thank y'all for hanging out with me because I want to get this project done. I'm gonna get my Hang on, I'm gonna switch this around for a minute. Okay. I might have to switch my tripod that I'm using so I can make sure that y'all can see what I'm doing. That ain't working. Hang on. Okay, I'm gonna switch tripods in a minute. Let me get this sewn in the stabilizer. Sewn, pressed onto the zipper part, and then I will come back in and I'll start sewing. Everything else is set up to sew. And I just saw, there it is. At this point now, it's pretty much just sewing and finishing the edges, applying the darts and everything. So I'm gonna do everything that we've been learning so far. Setting sleeves, applying the darts. I didn't get my zipper, so I'm gonna double check and see if I have a zipper that I would like to use, but I love a metal zipper, so my desire is to use a gold metal tooth zipper. I'm surprised French is not on here tonight because she's always picking at me about my zipper teeth. But a girl like what a girl like, right? Alright, so I'm using, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm using my industrial iron with my Teflon sheet. Now one of the things that I didn't do, I didn't use my velvet foot. I hope this don't mess me up. Because with velvet, it will crush. Okay, no, it didn't crush it. This is a faux velvet. So it's a synthetic fiber, it's not cotton. So it's not creating a shine on my fabric. But if it's the actual velvet, then you would want to use a Teflon foot to press this on. Not a Teflon foot, I'm sorry. You want to use a velvet cloth to press this onto because you don't want to crush your velvet, the fibers in your velvet. You don't want to flatten it. But because this is a synthetic fiber, it's not doing that. But I do have the Teflon sheet over it so it won't burn. So it won't burn what I'm trying to do. Alright, so that stabilizes that. Let me get the other side in. And then we'll be ready to sew. I did miss about an inch at the bottom. I cut it a little bit too short, but that's okay. It's all good. I hope that this series of videos have been helpful, and I'm appreciative of all that's been sharing tips and stuff on zippers and setting sleeves, all those that's participating. I appreciate you all, and I do hope that this has been a help to many. That's the whole goal. Nope, get back over there. The whole goal is to expose these techniques so that somebody want to level up on their sewing skills and do a little bit better. We definitely want to help in that area. I'm excited. I can't wait to start sewing. So next week is the notch collar. So I started the jacket that I'm going to finish up. It was the Mimi G jacket. I started it, and I started with the set-in sleeves. And so I'm going to finish that up by doing the the notch collar on that jacket. All right. Hey, Divya, how art thou? Uh, oh, thank you so much, Lala. I appreciate you. Yeah, I've seen you pop in here before, but I had no idea at the time you were Brooklyn. Brooklyn Timmy. I think I see you. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to. Let me turn it this way. I've got tripods here, tripods there, tripods there. And y'all, when y'all go back and look at the videos, it is what it is. Girl ain't into the editing just yet. Still got a lot to learn. If you see my video shape, that's because my tripod right here is attached. It's hooked, connected to my sewing machine. And I'm going to run out of thread. So let me go ahead and start another bobbin while I'm sewing this. Right. I'm just going to hook up. Oh, wait, I might have one already. Nope. Y'all, I took advantage of the thread sale that Joann's usually have at the pattern rack where it says buy 3, get 3 free. They got me. They got me. Because I'm like this. If I just buy one, then I can save me some money. But she's trying to get me with buying 3 so I can save them. But you got me spending more money. How's that helping me? It's giving me more thread. It's giving you more money. I know that's the name of the game. Alright. Here. I'm gonna use some of the thread from my serger to wind another bobbin while I sew. That's the one thing that I do like about this industrial. I have that option to create a bobbin while I'm sewing. So if I run out, I can just replace it and keep sewing. All right. You going to Joann's now for fusible? Oh, so what area are you in? What time is it? 7:55. Okay. So you still got time. On the last video, Nina had gone out to the store. I don't know if she went to Joann's, but she went to the store. All right, so y'all normally, I said I was gonna see if I did have an extra zipper. Say 7:55. I've been on here 2 hours, almost 2 hours already. All right, so this is the kind of zipper that I like, but this one's too short. It's too short, and it's not the right color. Now I do have this one, but it's the wrong color. I don't want that. I don't want it. You're in Miami? Okay, well, you're still on the East Coast. So you got, what, about an hour to go? You make it, you must be close by. Now, if I had the gold zipper like this, that would be the ultimate. So tomorrow, I probably won't put the zipper in tonight, but I'll go in and try to see if I can purchase the gold zipper like this. Because that's ultimately what I want. I like a little shine. I like a long zipper. I like a metal zipper, and I like it gold. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew this the back seam up. I'm gonna go ahead and do everything I can do tonight without having to compromise anything. So I'm already almost 2 hours in, and I hope y'all learned something within those 2 hours, because I really was wanting to just do nothing but sew, but I didn't do my part. So. Oh, and I gotta remember to put the walking foot on. This fabric don't take kindly to these pins. They don't like these pins that much. It feels like a crossbreed, to be honest with you. It's not a knit. It has a little stretch woven. That's what it is. Stretch woven. Because it's not totally stretchy. It's a synthetic fiber. This is what I'm looking for. This is my what I call, or what they call. I got it from Wawak. It's a velvet foot, and it makes treading on velvet fabrics or fabrics with pile makes it easy to flow. Otherwise, my fabric by the time I get to the end of the hem, probably be that much difference. All right, so now I need I was wondering where my edge control was. Now I'm looking for my. No, I hate that. I just had it, put it away. Looking for my screwdriver. I think I put it away in here, but I don't see it. No, I hate when I hide stuff from myself. I know I put it in here because I remember saying. Hang on, y'all. Oh, here it is. I just had to get up. Hey, Dottie. I am making this pattern of view D. I ended up cutting out this view with the idea of making maybe want this sleeve or this sleeve, but I didn't have enough, so I had to use this sleeve. And I'm modifying the neckline to be more of a U shape. It's a lower cut neckline. Oh, wait. I noticed I didn't have no music. What happened? Okay. All right. No more distractions, y'all. No more. Is this your first time on my channel, Dottie? All right. Go ahead and pull the bobbin thread up. And I am using a 3.0 stitch. And I'm stitching the... It is. Thank you so much for watching, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know your thoughts about what I'm sewing today. All right. So I know, have you all noticed that when you sew velvet or anything like that, like the fibers tend to shift your fabric, and like by the time you sew, you end up having more on the bottom side than you did the top, or either the top spills over and your seams are not the same. With this velvet foot helps everything stay the same. Let's see. to help stay the same. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, especially if you got to put darts in these things. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the dart in. Wait, what happened? Somehow, some of my, I wonder if the heat did that. Some of my dart disappeared. I still see it though. Okay, I can still see it. I can see my connecting spots. So I'm making sure that I fold my dart on the middle seam, the center seam, or the center line, so that I can stitch down the one side that I have, one leg that I have matched, or marked. I'm trying to say marked. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. So that's the center seam, and then that's the line, the one leg. And I do have the other leg marked because I did what I was supposed to, but I did it. If you do it, it's fine. But you just try to match up to one side and be done with it. I'm going to put another pin in here just because this velvet shifts like this. Okay, and I'm going to start at the top of my dart. I like to start off the fabric and then slowly come onto the fabric. Back stitch maybe once or twice. And I am following along the line that I created. There is a subtle pivot. You know how the fisheye darts, it goes like this and then it bows out a little bit and goes back in. Well, that's that subtle pivot right there. So that's where your definition of your waist is. When I get to the bottom, I don't like to backstitch a whole lot. What I like to, I do backstitch, but I backstitch into the, within that space between the stitch and the edge of the dart, if that makes sense. I do not teach pattern grading. I don't know if you caught Dee's video last night, or not last night. She just, her latest video on here where she created her last pattern. She actually took the time to show how she grade her patterns on digital form. That's one of the things that I don't do, I haven't done, and I would love to learn. And I didn't realize she and I have some of the same books. That just goes to show you got to pick them up and read them. It's been a while, but yeah, her video is very interesting. If you ever wanted to learn how to grade, the information that she gave was very interesting. Looks tedious, but one of the comments that she made is very rewarding to learn how to do that. Yeah, I think some of the heat, some of the heat melted away my darts. So let's get it back. Because I gotta see him. Alright, so this one disappeared a lot. So, and I tried to not get as close to it as possible, if at all possible, which I don't see. I think just the steam of it did it. So I'm just gonna go back in and remark those. Yeah, Patterns by D Watson. So I'm marking the center. Let's see. Let's move this up a little bit. Okay. got the one side. It's crazy how that did. Need my ruler. Stuff like this happens, but you can always get it back. Yeah, it just pretty much wiped out that dart altogether. Like, good gracious. For the dart to be in there just right, gotta mark it. Marking is key. Alright, where's your spring studio? Where's, um, I saw it coming, it just disappeared. Alright. So my front dart should be okay because I don't have to apply any heat anywhere on that. A lot of times on my back seam, I don't like to sew the back seam until I get the zipper in, but I'm doing a exposed zipper, so it should be fine to do it that way. If I was doing a visible zipper, I wouldn't sew this back seam up first. I would leave the back seam undone, sew the zipper in, and then sew it up. Okay. Where's my studio located? I am in Augusta, Georgia. 2 hours outside of ATL, outside of Atlanta. What is that? Okay, again, I'm gonna sew off, start off of my fabric, and then sew onto my fabric for the dart because I don't want it to. I want it to be subtle. The end of your dart should just mesh back into your fabric like there is no end. It shouldn't be like a peak or a poke. It shouldn't stick out or stand out. It should lay flat and smooth. There's a little bit of pivot right there. My machine always sounds like it's whimpering. Alright, let's come off of. Go back into inside of the dart. Some people tie their darts off, and that's fine too. That's another way. Professionally in tailoring school, they'll teach you how to tie your darts off instead of back stitching, so it'll be smooth right there in that area. All right, so I've got my dart in, and you really can't tell. You can't tell on here anyway where the dart is, but it stops right here. So I don't know if you can see it. Stops right in there. It's almost like this thing is taking pictures. It's either freezing or it's taking pictures. I don't know what it's doing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the darts in on the front piece since it's a flat piece. It's easier to sew the darts in while it's a flat piece as opposed to sewing up the sides and everything and then trying to sew darts in. All right, so this one I did the method of marking one side so that I can mark in one side and down the center so I can get that in. So I can sew it in correctly. That method makes it worry free that you're gonna get that dart in correct. As long as you mark the spots and mark that center line, you get the and that one leg, you get the darts in right every time. a surefire way of sewing your darts in. Hang on, y'all. I think I'm about to lose y'all. Yeah, hang on 1 second. Okay. All right. I hope that helps. I hope that saved y'all. Yeah, I won't go nowhere. Said I had like 5. Ooh, Jesus. I think I'm good. Down to 3. Let me watch it because sometimes it'll still go out. Make sure it's going back up. It's saying it's charging. It said after 2 hours, lights out. All right, start my dart off. If it goes out, I'll just come back in. The inside edge of this foot is a perfect guide to me sewing along the line of my dart. All right, so that's me sewing along the line right there, and that's the edge, that's the center of the dart, and then that's the back side. And so you can see right here where I drew a line from where the 2 circles met in the middle, and that worked out just fine. Y'all is staying at 3. I'm nervous. I don't want y'all to go nowhere. I could start charging back up. Might need the big boy charger. Hang on. Let's see. Okay. That one might be better. All right. Let me get my light back. There we go. All right. So I got the 1 dart in. Still got 1 more to go in the front, and then I still have the side darts to go. Get those in. I'm folding it along that line, that center line that I created. Anybody sewing along with the darts this week? Don't forget that next week we are doing notch collars. So anything with notch collars, jacket, coat, dress, shirts, anything that has notch collars. Vest can have notch collars. So it's your preference of what you want to do, just as long as you get into the technique. Making sure my thread is threading over there. My bobbin is threading. I can run out of my bobbin. Okay. Speak of my bobbin running out, it just ran out. It allowed me to finish this one up. And I'm just gonna put this one on and let that run some more. Can always use a black thread, a black bobbin. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and do this bust darts. Get those out the way. Same thing. It's going to sew along the fold on the middle line, sew along the one leg, and it's going to be perfect. This one I did both legs, so hopefully I can prove to you that sewing the one dart in the one leg makes for a perfect dart. I did have to modify this one, the size, so I hope that that didn't distort the setting of the dart. Either way, it's still centered. This did just roll a little bit, so that one might not be perfect, just because ooh, that was way off. Way off. I'm gonna undo that one. That was way off. And the one line up here, I don't know why that happened. Might be because of how I shifted the seams. I may just leave this like this, and the reason why is because that's about a 1/4 of an inch difference. If that bust seam, if it's true to where it's supposed to be, because I'm a C cup, and this dress is made on a B cup, so that'll give me just a teeny bit tiny more room. So I'm gonna leave it and see what it does, but I need to sew the same side on here as I did on that side. Now I will tell you what I did here. I have the opposite side drawn, so I'm gonna draw on the same side that as I sewed the other dart. So I want it to be the same. If it's gonna be different, I want it to be the same difference, if that makes sense. So now this looks the same. I don't know why. This looks like it's going to come out exactly the same. Interesting. Maybe it was my drawing. Somehow the thread got wrapped around. Got caught up in the teeth. Okay. this one is coming up more like it's true. I don't know what happened. I might need to redo that one, y'all, because that one's off. This one came out correctly. See, this is the side that I stitched it on. I mean, marked it on, and this is the side that was marked as well. So you can see that came out straight. Just a teeny tiny bit off right there, which is that's not going to make a big difference. But I am going to go ahead and undo this one because I'm not sure why that side was off. And one thing about this velvet and velour, you have to be careful with undoing the stitches. I generally like to use my razor blade, but I'm kind of scared to use it with this one. Because once you cut a hole in this, there's no forgiveness. There's going to be a hole there unless you can sew outside of that hole. Let's see, I might be able to, depending on how tight the stitches are, I might be able to. No, I did not do that. Take my time and do it right. I was going to try to just run my blade down there. Okay. Alright. That didn't take long. Alright, that didn't take long at all. And so I'm going to go ahead and undo that. Now I'm going to go ahead and pin on the fold like I did before. And I'm just going to see why. I'm not sure why that came out like that. I'm going to redraw the line. And then I'm going to, I don't know, it seemed like it's still skipping. Not sure why. Here, hang on. Alright, so I can't tell. It looks like 5 of you are on here, but I can't see anything else. This dress really is not a long sew. Once you get it cut out and everything, it really probably is about a 2-hour sew. Once you get the adjustments made. That's one of the things the patterns don't tell you. Now, this pattern doesn't claim to be a 1-hour sewing project. I would say about a 2 hours. Once you get your adjustments and everything made, your tissue fit, pattern fit, and all of that, once you get that adjustment made, it will be about a 2-hour sew. Alright, so I'm going to mark this again and see where I went wrong. Alright, but what I'm going to do, since I'm sewing from the, I'm having to redo this, I'm going to sew on the side that was already marked. The other side that would seem to be the right side, I'm going to sew from that side and see how close I came to the new marking. That makes sense. So I'm double check myself, but this side seems to be closer to the other side that I just stitched. The other dart that's already in place. Yep, still on. Oh no. No, still on. So I can't explain that one. But it does match up with this dart here. Does match up with the dart on the other side. So we're gonna go with that. All right. Go ahead and sew my shoulders up. I do want to go ahead and get the be able to get the darts sleeves in, the setting sleeves in. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and stay stitch around my neckline about a half an inch so that my neckline won't stretch out of shape. So I'm just letting it sew and do it too. I'm not pulling it or anything. I'm just doing a half-inch stitch around this neck. Being careful not to pull or manipulate it. Because again, this velvet does stretch. And there is a little bit of stretch in this fabric, so I'm going to see if it's enough to suffice. Not doing a set of gathering stitches in the sleeve and the armhole. I may still have to, hopefully not, that I can stretch it a little bit to make it fit, just like I would do a knit. So we'll see. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and sew the shoulders up and the sides up on this pattern. Sewing a 5/8 inch seam. This fabric, you almost don't need to do a almost don't need to finish off the edges because this fabric is not going to ravel, but you do want it to be nice and clean and neat on the inside. I am going to press the seams flat, I think. I'm still probably going to serge them, but at any rate, it's good to press the seams flat first and then close them and serge them. That way you can get a nice crisp seam. All right, got the shoulder seams in, and while I'm sewing the while I am sewing the side seams in, I am going to stitch down, sew the darts down. Now there is like a, you can see where the darts, I added onto the darts, and you can see there's a difference, probably looks like almost an inch difference, but actually where the seam is sewn at is probably about a half an inch difference right there. So I'll just make the sides meet where the dart is. I'll show you what I'm doing. Try to keep as much of that over on that side as I possibly can. So the adjustments that I made, they should line up about the same. So I made the same adjustments to both seams. Remember that's the back seam. The back seam was a little bit shorter, the back hem was a little bit shorter than the front, but here it looks like it's a little different. Because this fabric can be pretty tricky. That's why it's always best if you're able to sew a little bit, cut the hem a little bit longer, then you can always use a marking, a skirt marker or something like that to mark the placement of your hem even if you have issues with your hem. But no, that should be fine. That's the back. All right. So right here on the side where the dart is, sew the dart downward, and you can see where there is just that little bit right there. Okay. So, but I've already added into that area on that side, so we should be fine. Hey guys, I don't know what happened. Uh, it kicked me out. I don't know. I've never had that happen before, where it just completely went blank. I thought I was gonna have to start a new video, but I didn't. It allowed me to reconnect. So sorry about that. It might be telling me it's time for you to stop, girl. Because it's what, 2 hours, 2.5 hours? Alright, see, here's where you want to be careful that when you are, you can see that's about well, that's about 1/8 of an inch. I just moved it, but just a minute ago. Yeah, it's about 1/8 of an inch difference right there. Inches matter. Little meters, little millimeters of an inch matter. So make sure that you keep them together, the edges together as much as possible. One thing I love, like I was saying earlier about this velvet foot, is that it allows your fabric to sew evenly. Even if it does have a nap to it, even if it does have the little furry fibers that move and jiggle, it allows you to sew your seams together without one coming out longer than the other. Now this one was already longer when I pinned it. So about 1/4 of an inch longer, and that was in the cutting process because of the fabric that I had. So I'll just go in and even that up. I knew one part was going to be longer than the other. Oops. All right. I hope you guys are still there. If you're saying something, I honestly cannot see your comments. So if I'm not answering you, that's why I can't see. Let's go ahead and pin this. You still there? All right. Thanks, Wanda. I appreciate it. I know you're not in your studio sewing, right? Because you, what, next door? What's the temperature tonight? Mm-hmm. I think it was, what, 1 below last time we were here? Yeah, this was cut a little bit longer, this back. I don't know. It seemed like the back was cut shorter, but now it looks like the front is the shorter one. So if that's the case, it's fine, because I need the back to be a little bit longer because I got hips. So I need that extra fabric to go across them hips. Alright, so here, I want to mark where the edge is on here because I was just marking where the edge is on the other side because this is the side where it's too long. It's much longer than the other side. However, I don't want to sew from the bottom up, and I can't sew from left to right, from right to left on the sewing machine. So I'm marking the edge so I can line that up with the 5/8 inch seam allowance. Make sure that lines up. Yeah, while we are here, your home in bed is 13 degrees. Oh wow. I think when I finish this, I'm gonna get somewhere and sit down. I made some fixed dinner already. I made some salmon, um, broiled some salmon, and just gonna do a salad. Well, they've already eaten, and I'll probably eat an orange or something like that later. But do that, and I'm gonna sit my hips down somewhere. Supposed to work tomorrow. I feel like it. Don't feel like it at all. Yeah, I don't know what more happened to him. I probably am gonna either do a hem tape, or I can take the other alternative to doing a hem tape at the hem is cutting a strip of this fabric and creating a band on the inside, a hem band. That's an option. If I have like a bias binding, maybe like the double, uh, that double bias binding, like it's double, then I can use that because I like it wide. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. This is already up. I don't have the zipper, obviously, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and sew the sleeves in, and then we're going to call that a night for the night. Okay, so I do have my notches marked, so I know how to match up my armhole notches. That's the back, that's the front. I need to go ahead and sew my sleeves up. So I'm going to sew the underarm seams up first so they can be a true set-in sleeve. I'm not going to line this, so I'll just be turning the hem up, just simply because it is almost like a knit back, almost like a knit backing. I'm going to press these open. See, if I press it open, it's still nice looking, right? So I'll see. More than likely, I'm probably going to serge them because I just don't like stuff unfinished. Okay, so I'm going to turn these right side out, and then I'm going to place them in the right spots where they're supposed to be. So this is the right side, this is the wrong side. Okay, so this one goes with this sleeve because this is the right side. Yep. So I'm gonna flip that in like that. Just kind of tuck that sleeve inside there, right sides together. Okay. Gonna use these to clip. Now, question, do you all clip with the color side facing up or down if you use your clips? But there was a debate I saw one time on what was the right way and the wrong way to clip your, use your clips. Like, I didn't even know there was a right way and a wrong way. Honestly, I didn't. Alright, so right here, I'm gonna go ahead and put a pin on the placement marks. So this part is very important to mark your notches. And the reason why I'm going to go ahead and use pins instead of the clips is so that they can stay stable and won't move and go anywhere. Alright, now I am using a clip at the top just because that seam, I want to keep that seam flat. Alright, so for some reason I didn't make a notch or mark on the sleeve on the back side. So why didn't I? Okay, let's see. Alright, pinning my notches together. This doesn't have a whole lot of stretch to it, a whole lot of give, but I'm going to see if I can manipulate that fabric knot. I'm going to stop in my tracks. I'm going to go ahead and do a little easing stitch. Yeah, that's not going to, it's not going to ease in, so I'm going to have to ease that sleeve cap so it'll be able to fit. Now what I found on my machine, if I do gathering stitch on my highest stitch, which is 5, if I change it to 5, it'll gather itself. Now will it gather this fabric? We'll see. I usually don't have to do but one stitch. So I'm going to take the pins out, and I usually like to start a little past below the notches. Start a little bit below the armhole notch, and then I'm going to do a 5/8 inch big stitch from below the notch. Then I can ease it in how I need to. Alright, so I like to pull my threads a little bit long so that way when I unease the easing, if it's too much, I won't end up pulling my threads out. The clips. Flat side on the bottom. Is there a flat side? Oh, didn't realize the flat side. I thought it was just colored on one side. Interesting. So why is that? Because I always default to putting the flat side on the bottom. The color, I call the color side. So is that the way it's supposed to be? I think that's what the guy was saying. I don't know. But whatever I do, I know my hands just tend to just default to the flat side anyway. Okay, so hang on. Okay, so I'll go ahead and clip that arm armhole notch again. Pin in the center, in between the underarm seam and the notch. Then I'm going to mark the shoulder seam. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. So that little bit of easing, see, you can see where it automatically eased in there for me. Hey, Rose, good evening. How art thou? All right, so I'm still got to match up the shoulder seam. So everything seems to be falling in place, but I am going to have to release some of those gathers so that um, they don't pucker. All right, so I have to be careful about that. So make sure I spread them out, spread the love. But that easing help get that fabric in there. That's the one thing that I like about that this machine is that it does that automatically. Rosalind. So I know I always call you Rose. Rosalind. Okay. All right. Now this one's a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. There's a little bit more easing in the back of this. Okay. All right. Just gonna not take for granted. Just assume that's the back side, and the back side is a little bit broader than the front, so you might have a little bit more easing to do across the back. But this is where you have to really be careful to not let it gather because it would tend to want to gather back there if you let it. So you have to really kind of spread that out and manipulate those gathers so that it doesn't. See right here, it will want to pucker. You don't want that to pucker. I like to see what I'm doing a lot of times. I can manipulate the fabric from top to keep it from doing that. But sometimes the bottom feeds faster than the top, but I can't always see what's going on at the bottom. I can feel it. Sometimes it catches me. Most times I can kind of get it spread out and let it do what it's going to do. So here you see me trying to pin. I'm spreading and pinning. Kind of spreading it out. Now right here at the shoulder is where it get a little tricky because it will want to gather right there. But you can kind of pull it and make it meet. Okay. Sometimes when you're smoothing your gathers out, your gathers start to go in other places. So that's one of the reasons why I do pin extra. Now some fabrics like this one I'm having to pin a little bit more than I normally would. Some fabrics I don't have to pin at all. But then some I want to be a little bit more cautious because this fabric is a pile fabric, so it just tends to have a mind of its own. All right, so I am going to take my chance a little bit and I'm going to sew from the top. Now you can see right there that could be a problem. So I need to make sure that it's not going to pucker right there. It's a little bit. Let me just move this out a little bit. Might have to give it a little bit more space. Just a quarter of an inch. You know what? I'm not going to take my chance. I'm going to sew from the top so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to sew with the sleeve side up so I can get a glimpse of what I'm doing. Wish I could kind of show you um, here what I'm doing, but I can't. I'm going to sew a 5/8 inch seam allowance. Um, I was going to try to move it. Let me see how much juice I got. Oh, 16. I better leave it alone. I'll show you when I'm done. So go ahead and put my foot in, my needle in, get it going, anchor it so that everything is lined up the way I want it to be lined up. Oops, I forgot to change my stitch length. I'll go back around over that spot. I like to start from the bottom. So you can see I'm being very careful. And what helps too is to curve out your arm while you're sewing. So if it's on a curve, kind of ankle it that way on a curve. So instead of sewing it on a straight seam, if there's a curve to it, kind of sew along that curve. Sew in the direction of the curve, if that makes sense. That will help that will help that sleeve to take shape. So what I'm doing as I'm going, I am pulling the fabric and spreading out the notches. I mean, spreading out the gathers. Also, I'm making sure that because this is a velvet fabric that it's not sliding. The edge of the seam is not sliding over too far. So when I stop one seam, I go ahead and put the needle down, drop it, and make sure it doesn't come out. So it gives me an anchor. That way I can go ahead and mess with the other rest of the space that I'm getting ready to sew on. It's okay to take your time in this area, not rush it. The bottom should be fine. You just have to make sure that you're not catching excess fabric up under there, but it's flat. You're trying to make this sleeve cap fit into that flat space. That's what you're doing here. Almost to the place where I started. So I'm going to curve it a little bit, making sure I don't have anything folded under there. As I curve it, it's taking the shape of what I need. That'll also help eliminate puckers as you let it sew it the shape that it's going to be. Back over to the place where I realized I wasn't sewing 3.0 stitch. All right, I'll go ahead and show you. All right, so that's my sleeve sewn in. That's the stitching line right there. So no puckers, no gathers, no pinches. And when I go to the ironing board, I'm gonna shape this over my hand, a dressmaker's hand, and I'm gonna press this so this will smooth out around here. Okay. So everything came out fine. All right, and then on the outside, once it's pressed, that's gonna lay flat like it should. Okay, yep, smooth. All right, let's go ahead and get the other side in. And then once I do this, I'm gonna call it an evening, y'all. It'll be almost 3 hours. I really only want to do two. I almost canceled it, y'all, to be honest with you, because I did. All right, let's get this one in. Did I do the, okay, I gotta do the ease and stitch on this. You're doing your ease and stitch. Don't forget to revert to your longest stitch. And half an inch. Okay, this one didn't ease as much, so we're gonna see. We may need to pull some threads a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and pin the underarms where I like to start. Okay, go ahead and get my seam allowances pinned down, because I hate when I'm sewing and my seam allowances get pinched to the wrong side. But if that happens, just take it and clip the one side that's pinched wrong and smooth it out. Okay, go ahead and pin your seam allowances. Pin your notches. Now, right up here at the top, at the shoulder seam, I don't like to put two pins there because you got to do your easing. It's where your gathering have to meet up at, or your easing. So I definitely want to make sure there's no bunching or anything right there. I like to pull my threads out so I can see them, so I can pull them how I need to pull them. Anybody else do set-in sleeves this week? I think Shar did and Nina did them. Um, why I forgot to do the back seam notch. Okay. Alright, that was a little bit better, y'all. Had almost just the right amount of easing. And I don't know why that maybe it's the side that I gathered it on. That could have made the difference. Make sure my iron is still on. Okay. Pin this in place. Still end up pulling and easing in there because it needs it. and it needs it more so at the cap part, right around the shoulder part between the notches, the placement notches. You know, you always have the center, the shoulder notch, and then you have the two on the side. That's where most of your easing is supposed to be, right in there. There's a little bit in the um, below that, but not too much. Most of it should be right there in that cap part to create like a little curve or bend. If you ever put on a garment and it's tight around here, like you can't move your arm, like you restrict it right here, it's because there's not enough cap right here. There's not enough around this part. It's too small. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get started with this one. Goodness, I'm going to drink me some hot tea. Yeah. Got me some elderberry tea. I don't even know if I feel like sandwiches. Okay, anchor my. Okay, so making sure everything is in place. Changed my stitch length back to 3.0. Had to make sure that was good. Ooh, I don't know if it's me getting colder. It's just getting temperature dropping outside. Right, I'm happy to be able to get this done. I hope it comes out um, like I want it to. It looks nice. Oh, as I was getting ready to say earlier, I don't know what made me stop and pause, but next month's challenge, February, is black to red. I've been trying to work on the graphics today. I kept getting stopped. Um, and I had to do the graphics for this video tonight. But the next month is black to red. It's just a play on back to back to red or back to whatever. But the goal is to sew black designer patterns, indie patterns. But the goal is to sew make something in red. All right. So digging your stash. We won't be on a uh, per se stash busting fast still, but if you could sew from your stash, that would be a bonus. Yeah, your goal. I just made my red jacket, so I wish I had waited for that the red jacket. So I'm not going to count yet, but the goal is to uh, sew something red. Here you go, y'all. I'll be right back. All right, y'all, back. Y'all, when I say I got cold, oh, so far so good. No puckers, no bunched up fabric. But yeah, the goal is to do um, sew black patterns. So that'll have to take care of Black history, and all while sewing up a little love in red. I know it's probably corny, but I wish I could sing that song over. Back to life, back to reality. So back to red, back to red. How do you want it? How do you need it? All right, black to red. Yep, it sounded like a good idea at the time. I've been pondering on this for about a month now. Um, just wasn't sure how I would market it, but it is what it is. All right, so there's the other sleeve. Okay, other sleeve, and there's no puckers. This one seemed to be a little bit smoother, I guess, on that side. So I'll go in and press everything in. Um, so far, let me see if I can get this up. I may have to take in the darts in the back just a little bit more because I do have a tutti booty, but the size 16 allowed me the length that I needed from the nape of my neck to the back. This dress drops about 2¼ inches below the neckline, so I did take that into account, and so it put me right there, or just a little bit less than what my actual neckline is, my back length is. So I do that because I definitely won't have any scrunching in the back or bunching in the back. But at the same time, I have to be mindful not to um, do too much, too short of a back length adjustment, because then that will cause the hem to be up in the back, up in the back, and not even with the front. And the fact that I didn't have extra fabric to cut the hem longer, I have to be really careful. I don't want to end up with the mini, with the mini dress. All right, so the only thing that I have to do now is to add the zipper in, add the facing, and hem it, and then this will be finished. All right. So tomorrow is the last day of our week 3 stash busting fast. Sunday, excuse me, sorry y'all. Sunday starts the last week and the 4th week of our stash busting pattern and fabric fast. So again, we'll be doing the notch collars, and so I'm gonna finish with this jacket that I started in red. I say this has nothing to do with the red for February. All right, I'm gonna have to find another piece of red from somewhere and make it work, or let it have some black and red in it. All right, and then find out what indie pattern, or it don't have to be an indie pattern. It can be a commercial pattern, just long as it's a black designer pattern. Paying homage to black designers who made it. Right. Uh-oh. So that's what we're gonna do. If anybody have any questions or anything about today's sew along, or if you have any questions about what we're doing for the rest of the challenge, or doing for next week or next month, let me know. You can inbox me. You can post a question here on this video. You can DM me on Instagram, or you can follow on Facebook and DM me there at So Much Talent, the page, or So Much Talent, the group. Or you can email me at so much talent at yahoo.com. All right. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Um, so let's see. I'm gonna see if I can put this on the mannequin so you kind of get an idea of what it looks like. All right, give me just a second. I'm gonna take my red off. Y'all, I already plan on doing another. I plan on doing another fanny pack. I have a brown faux leather that I found. That would be really pretty with this. And this one, I really would like to do a chain, like a big metal chain for the for the straps. But this would be really pretty with it. Yeah, I never thought I'd be wearing fanny packs. Yeah, black to red. I know it sounds corny. Alright, so this is the one that we did for the zipper. Alright, these are all my straps that I bought, trying to figure out which ones I was gonna do. Since y'all said I could buy straps. Oh, there's some more. And let's see. This one, she about big as I am. Yep. Her waist a little smaller than mine, but her bust is a little bit bigger than mine. But it's all good. I'm bigger in the hips than I am the bust area. Well, I really am going to sit down somewhere. I made me some coffee, but coffee just wasn't as appealing. I need some tea. I don't know if I like the fact that I'm about to fit this mannequin. This mannequin can wear my clothes. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, I'm started working out, not working out, but whatever you want to call it. I lost a lot of weight by dancing to Just Dance, the We Fit. I don't know if y'all remember that. I still have it. And so I had my son to hook it up for me. It's a little twisted right here. I had my son to hook it up for me so I can start working to it again. And it really works your limbs and your legs and your thighs and everything else. Trying to dance and copy mimic these dances and try to keep up with it. But yeah, I need to get back at it. So I'm pinning this in place so you can kind of see it. Now, keep in mind this mannequin, I have to, her measurements are not mine. So the back waist length it's gonna fit a little bit different. But she about doggone about my size. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I gotta grow out of, not grow out of her, but I can't make, no, we can't be rolling the same side. Yeah, I gotta see this. Excuse me. Sorry, y'all. I just wanted to pin this up so you all can see, at least get an idea of what it's fitting like. Yeah, this, I doggone, she about fitting my size. All right, so what I want y'all to see here. See what I was talking about now? This mannequin is straight. Okay, so mannequins, they have like the perfect shape, perfect figure. Make sure she's straight in here. All right, so this is where the darts are right here. So you can see this needs to come up a little bit more like this. I need to actually press this dart out because I don't like the way that's doing right there. It's a little puckery right there. But you can see this one is, well, you can't see it. You really can't see that dark. Kind of see the line right here, but it's really smooth. It's really smooth right here. And this is where the point is here. And then on here, okay, it's a little puckered right there. So I need to figure out why that's doing that right there. I don't like that, how that looks. All right, but remember I talked about the, look for the, remember I talked about the ears on the side. Sometimes if you're like with me, I have to make adjustments for the hip part. Now keep in mind she's different than me. I think I'm 48 in the hips. About an inch difference, but still. All right. So see right here, these little ears that would need to come out in order to fit. So I'm probably gonna have to go in and make some adjustments there. Now this mannequin is not is my exact body shape, but very close. And so you can see right here, like on her, I may have to bring that waist down instead of the waist being up here. I might have to bring that waist down here, but the waist is supposed to be that way on me. Now her waist might be a little bit longer. I don't know. Let me check it and see. Oh, I got to take measure on this. Now this is supposed to be about 2 inches below the neckline. 2¼ inches. That's 2¼ So once that 5/8 inch seam allowance is in play, work on it. So 16¼ should be here. Like her waistline is here. She has a short waistline. Who has a short waistline like that? So that would explain why this is doing this. Why this is, you know, if you can see like the lines right here, that explains why the lines are the way they are. See how it goes up like that? Because it's for a longer torso. So once that torso is filled out, that'll stand in the right place where it should be. This is about 3 inches different from me. Hey, Lady Demetra. Yeah, this is about 3 inches different in length from me. So once I get it on and fill that out, that's going to make that lay like it's supposed to lay. I still may have those ears right there. Sometimes that happens, and I have to get rid of that. But for the most part, it it came out good. Now right here, I see there's a little bit more easing right here. I'm definitely going to have to press that out and trim that back so that it doesn't have that rippling look to it. But other than that, uh, I'm happy. I'm happy with the way it came out. I'm looking forward to wearing it, and it's not gonna be so bad in the short sleeve. It's gonna be fine. All right. Well, that's it, y'all. That's it for the zipper. I'll definitely show it when I'm finished with it. I'm gonna pull this back. This is gotta be iron, y'all. That stuff like that bother me. All right, so there she go. All right, so I'm looking forward to that. Finishing that up. All right, so just like you, Demetria, I'm going to try to figure out what I'm going to do for my red. But in the meantime, I'm going to focus on the last challenge of this week, which I just said was the um, notch collar challenge. A lot of folks have issues with those and how to get those in correctly. Um, so make sure you stay tuned for that, okay? Make sure you pick you a jacket or top or something that you have that has a notch collar. All right. Thank you so much, Lady Demetra. I appreciate you. Keep me in your prayer. All right. I love y'all. Life, blessings, and peace. Thank you, Lala. All right. I know you're still on here. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to get me some rest, y'all. I'm going to close my eyes. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night. Have a great weekend. Bye.